Hello. Here I am again with Red Embrace Hollywood. I didn't think I'd be coming back to this, but some nice people on my last episode of Heath's Route were like, fuck all these other episodes about Heath, who you clearly care about a lot. Go do Markus's route. So yeah, of course I will. Of course I will. Why not? Why not, honestly? I mean, the route, me going in being like, oh, he doesn't seem like my type. He's kind of like quirky and he's more my mum's type, like the dark hair. Like he's more typically vampire looking, I feel like. He just like wasn't really my thing, and the same with the other guy. Fuck, what's his name? Rav something. I can't remember. Because we're not right. We'll find out. So yeah, I'm gonna play through Markus's route, and I'm not gonna be mean about him, but I might be mean about him if he says something dumb. But honestly, some of his writing is quite insightful. So yeah, I'm just gonna say thank you to ignore my phone. Spilling the tea. I'm actually gonna put that on silent. Spilling the tea, who first asked for it. So put phone on silent, and then Ragnarok Entertainment. So that's a really cool name. It reminds me of Ragnarok Online. I used to play that. Maybe I'm showing my age there, but that's fine. And also Ragnarok Entertainment asked me to play a Jekyll and Hyde game, MAZM Jekyll and Hyde. I bought it on Steam, and I will play it. Probably after this. So you can look forward to that as well. But it'll probably take me a little while to get through this playthrough, because I'm not going to skip things that I've already seen, because if people don't want to watch Heath's route, that's fine. I've renamed it all to make it clear that that's Heath's route. It's got its own playlist. So I'm going to be going through this as if, like, without skipping anything, as if I've never already played it through, basically. I mean, I'll know some things. I can't imagine it deviates that much, but I'm going to join the Crazy People clan this time. And obviously have Markus as our little helper. So yeah, let's get into it, shall we? Because, oh yeah, I forgot I need to... I guess I'll make my character the same, maybe. I really like the silver hair. I do not want to make it look like they're related. That's the last thing I want. Should I feel like a blonde, that's like platinum blonde. That's like just straight up white. That's like platinum blonde, right? So like I'm kind of feeling the red, but I'm not changing the hair because I have longer hair and keeps me grounded a little bit. Obviously I like the green with the red because it always fits, right? But I might just go with red because I have a thing for red eyes. I don't know why. The face type is fine. The bust type is fine. That's a bit over. That's overkill. So we're not gonna have a lip color this time. I still really like that necklace. Honestly, I would probably wear that necklace. Even though I don't really like things around my neck. The earrings are always pointless because you never see them. Do you see them? Do you possibly see them in No, you don't. Okay, it's pointless. Always have a lip piercing. What does the nose piercing look like? Oh, you know what? Sure. And we are Valkii again. Yes, she, her. No. Let's go through it again. Let me grab up OBS here so I can make sure that the volume is fine. Is there no sound here? Because I know the sound is working. Oh no, I can hear it a little bit. It's just not coming up. Is it that quiet? I'm gonna leave it for now. Okay, everyone comes to Hollywood for a reason. Saints, sinners, artists, anti-artists, and all of the beautiful people in America. On September 24th, 1996, I became one of those people. Actually, you know, this could be a bad idea because I think this bit puts you into your clan, and I don't know what options to choose to get the right one. So if I get the wrong one, which won't be evident right away, then I'll go back. Because I feel like I never got the chance. So when you skip it, it's like, oh, which one do you want? So let's just try and go for the crazy one this time. See what options might be the most crazy. Eccentric. Let's not use the word crazy. Eccentric. But why did I go to Hollywood? I don't know what. But to discover every dark secret. An irresistible urge pulled me here. I knew I belonged in Hollywood, among the debauchery, the filth, and the perfumed skeletons inside the closet. I wanted to learn more about the darkest parts of human nature because that was the only way to learn more about myself. Of course, that was just the reason why. The how, that was something different. I came to Hollywood as... Oh... A rebel making waves, that would be... Fuck, what's his name? I feel so bad, what's his name? I keep wanting to call him Raphael, but that's not his name. That can't be his name. Whatever. That, it's the other... I also can't remember the clan's names, because it's been a couple of weeks maybe since I last recorded something, because it has been hectic here. So, a visionary seeking truth, that's... the only thing I can think of. I needed to share my ideas, expose secrets, and question everything I knew about the world. Being a skeptic wasn't just fun, it was necessary. In a time so full of confusion, somebody had to shine a light on the truth, and maybe that person was me. For 2 weeks, I prowled around the Sunset Strip, learning the ins and outs of Hollywood. Each night, I felt my dreams getting closer, more real. The glittering celebrity world was opening its doors to me, beckoning me inside. Until 2 weeks later, on October 8th, when it happened. Okay, here's the sounds. I'd gone to a club, but not just any club. One that hosted the darker side of LA nightlife. I wasn't disappointed. Eerily beautiful people everywhere. Swathed in dark clothes, slow hypnotic music, the rattling of dancers in cages. Something felt different about this place. It wasn't just another club. No, it felt more like another world. Oppressive, seductive, terrifying. To calm my nerves, I approached the bar to order my favorite drink. Something... bitter, complex, and dark. It was delicious, but I didn't get more than a few seconds to enjoy the taste. When I looked up, someone down the bar was staring at me intently. A tall, dark-haired man dressed in all black, his gaunt face matched by a skull-piercing stare. After a few moments, he stalked closer, only stopping when his chest nearly touched mine. But it didn't feel like a pickup, not even like bold flirting. Suddenly, I knew I was in very real danger. And yet, as I stared at my own reflection in his dilated pupils, I realized I couldn't move. I was completely hypnotized by... I don't know. How are you supposed to know? I don't know. I can only assume that these influence your clan, like what one you go into. Beastly look in his eyes. I feel like that would be, again, the rebel clan. A terrifying beauty, or what he whispered in my ear. I want to say what he whispered in my ear because doesn't the eccentric clan always have like visions in their head or something? What he whispered in my ear. He leaned in, lips coldly brushing my skin, and said, "I want to show you something." And from that moment, whatever it was, I knew I had to see it. Sinking his long nails against my shoulder, the man led me towards the filthy hallway with its filthier bathrooms. Wild moans and the wheezing of people who'd sniffed too many drugs leaked from under the doors, along with weak fluorescent light. But I didn't have much time to appreciate the cinematic moment. The man grabbed my hair and pushed me against the wall, which was full of posters for bands nobody cared about. "I'm going to change your life forever, but you'll never learn my name," he whispered. How does that make you feel? See, these are so hard. I shouldn't think too much about it because I can just pause and go back and just skip the intro and choose the clan I want. Nothing would really change, I guess. I'm not sure, but I feel like you're crazy is the right thing to say, but I'm just to say it because they're thought to be that way. Yeah, everybody thinks I'm crazy, and maybe I am. As those low words rumbled in his throat, he smiled, and two long, cruel fangs glimmered between his lips. Fangs? No, they couldn't be real, and yet for some horrible reason, I knew they were. In that moment, I suddenly felt... full of lust, why not? I trembled with excitement. This had always been my fantasy. I didn't care if it was only a wet dream. I wanted to be enthralled, drained, ravished. Will this change my character? Because if not, I'm gonna have to take a picture of this. Because like I got my other picture from I'm gonna print screen. From the CG thingy. But if it won't change to this one, then it's going to be a bit different. Okay. And then I felt the bite. An agonizing pain ripped through me, searing into my neck, spreading through my whole body. I couldn't make a sound. I couldn't do anything except stand still, just like a deer in headlights. But slowly, the pain started to melt away. Warm, euphoric tingles bubbled through my neck and down my spine. I let out a low moan before I could stop it, but the sound just blended into the murky background of music and laughter. It was better than anything. Better than sex, better than drugs, better than money or love or fame, and yet it felt like all of those things rolled up into one sensation. His icy hands and lips pulled me down into this incredible euphoria until my body couldn't take it anymore. I felt the blood draining from my veins, my breathing coming to a halt, my heart finally stopping. I realized what was happening, but I was too drowned in pure, mindless bliss to even care. I was dying. Was I dead? Drink. Something pressed against my lips. A metallic liquid dripped down my throat, sending a jolt through my body. I should have been dead, but I wasn't. Instead, I was half awake, half dreaming. In the middle of that surreal moment, I felt strangely... enlightened? For an instant, my world was consumed by bright flames, so bright that they blinded me. But in the middle of that inferno, I thought I saw someone's face, someone familiar. And so hell spreads its legs. His voice rasped harshly in my ear. The world went dark. Okay, and here we have the intro. I almost don't want to see Heath again, you know? That was like, I went through a relationship that was really rough, and it's almost a little hard to see him again. Look, it's hard. Maybe that sounds ridiculous, but I don't know. No, let's find his name. Randall! That's it, Randall. And he even began with an R. I just could not remember it for the life of me. I do feel like Marcus is like touted as the main guy, so it might be a good idea for me to actually go through his route. I don't know. Oh, just the Heath. Sorry, I know this is supposed to be Marcus's route, but I did do Heath's route first, and I did love him, and I wish, even though he's not real, I still feel like I wish him the best. It's weird. It's very weird. He was so fragile and broken. I hate it. I hate it. Okay, let's go. The next thing I knew, I was on the sidewalk outside the club. What the hell was I doing here? Had I blacked out? Was this a dream? I couldn't remember walking outside, even though I hadn't drunk anything strong. But I did remember that strange man, what he said to me, the bite. The bite? Did that mean... No, what a stupid thing to think. That must have been just a weird hallucination brought on by the flashing lights and pounding music. It served me right for going to such a sleazy club, honestly. I stumbled through the streets, fighting the urge to stop and vomit. I could feel my skin growing cold, my mouth was dry, and I didn't need to breathe. Everything around me looked different. Colors were brighter, faces uglier, and an unnerving flicker in my peripheral vision gave me the sense I was being watched. My mind felt like it was being invaded, shuffled around, unlocked. Something was rising to the surface. No, none of this was possible. There had to be some other explanation. Vampires didn't exist. But if they didn't exist, then what was I becoming? By the time I rounded the corner to an alleyway, I was ready to slump down and curl up until I figured out what the hell was going on. But as soon as the alley came into view... Marcus! There you go, guys. Not like you hadn't seen him before. I saw someone standing there watching me. Not just watching. It seemed more like he was waiting for me. He took a deep breath, slowly shaking his head. You smell fresh. If I strain my ears, I can almost hear water dripping back into the baptismal font. Again, not doing a southern drawl. Not doing it. Can't do it. I mean, I probably could, but it would sound absolutely ridiculous because everyone who's ever heard me do kind of even a remotely American accent, and I know I can sound American sometimes, but that's because I've watched a lot of American TV. But when I try to do an American accent, I just sound like a valley girl. And I don't mean to. I can't not do it. I don't know why. Anyway, the man's deep voice was accented with an aristocratic southern drawl, each word slow and emphatic. His manner of speech reminded me of a preacher, melodic and a little theatrical. But almost instantly I sensed that something about him was different. Wrong somehow. Is this a dream? Dream? We're all part of a dream, sister. The devil's dream of his children playing here on Earth. But no, you're not asleep, if that's what you're asking. A knowing smile stretched over his lips, and he adjusted his sunglasses smugly. Now, as for introductions. I'm the Grand Master who plays blindfolded, that cut on your hand you don't remember getting, that scratched out face on the yearbook photo. They call me Marcus, and I am happy to join you for the best and worst night of your existence. After tipping an imaginary hat to me, he flashed a wide grin, and I glimpsed 2 small white fangs shining in the light. No need to mention your own name, Valkii, so don't worry. I know exactly who you are. And now you're one of us, a night stalker, a bloodsucker, an overblown myth hiding a horrible monster. You're a vampire, sister. Welcome to the Valley of Death. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I feel like this is probably gonna edge me more onto the crazy, eccentric route. I can see you already possess the most important skill in life, so take care not to lose it. My brain didn't feel like it could process what Marcus was saying. Everything made sense, but at the same time, it all just seemed too insane to be real. As if he could sense my confusion, Marcus let out a patient sigh. Considering you still look bemused, let me try to put the facts of this situation in simpler terms. You merely turned into a different kind of parasite, sister. An honest one. Money, sex, favors. You won't have to suck those out of human folk anymore. They will simply fall into your lap. Just blood. Just blood is all you need now. Doesn't that make you feel relieved? Marcus suddenly paused, taking a deep, long sniff of the air. A few moments later, he leaned towards me, this time sniffing close to my neck. Oh, I think we figure out what we are now? Question mark? We're being nice to him now. Ah. Yay! We did it! Oh, wow. It was the laughing. You didn't look very happy about it. You and I seem to share an affliction, the peculiar damnation of seeing what others wouldn't like us to see. Golgotha, that is the name of our house, but don't trouble yourself to remember it. Self-awareness, I find, is prized far too highly. He winked at me, grinning like we'd shared some priceless inside joke, except I didn't get the punchline. I've never been to Have I? I don't know. Golgotha, I feel like I've heard that before. I don't think I went to the... No, because for Heath, I had to be in the other one. That's weird. You probably did, the tolling bell echoing deep in the corridors of your mind. For now, you should at least know this. You were bitten by a Golgotha vampire, which means your blood has taken on those qualities, and you're part of that house. Yeah, I shouldn't call it a clan, I guess I should call it a house. Yeah. You have my sincerest apologies. His lips curled in a slow, insidious smirk that suggested his apologies were anything but sincere. Was anything he said to me sincere, though? Did he actually know what was happening to me, or was he just some crazy druggie on the street? With my mind reeling like this, I couldn't decide which situation was more plausible. Alright, I do believe that's enough. Before you get into any trouble, there is someone you need to meet. Come now, back to the pen like a good little lamb. Whatever, alright. What a docile thing you are. Before I had a chance to offer a reply, Marcus grabbed my shoulders, pulling me forcefully towards the street. Just stay quiet. I bit my lip and said nothing. I wasn't exactly eager to trust him, but I didn't have much of a choice. When we reached the street a few moments later, I noticed a black sedan parked in front of us. It hadn't been there when I walked by earlier. Don't worry, my dear. We wouldn't dream of making you ride in anything but luxury. His voice drawled in my ear, ringing with amusement as he opened the backseat door. Wait, what did he say? Oh, we wouldn't. Okay. This isn't the hearse I was expecting. Every car can be a hearse. It all depends on who's behind the wheel. Wouldn't you agree, sister? Stop calling me sister. Like, it's fine. You don't have to call me sister. I hope you don't call me sister later. That'd be weird. Without further ceremony, Marcus shoved me inside the sedan, squeezing in behind me. The second he closed the door, the shadowy driver started up the car and we sped off down the road at an alarmingly fast pace. I was too disoriented to try and figure out our destination from the landmarks passing by, but that didn't keep a sickening sense of anticipation from building in my gut. If there are any questions burning in your mind, now might be the time to ask. Marcus murmured to me from the other seat, his eyes glowing faintly behind their dark lenses. I can't promise you much, let alone the answers, but I figure you deserve some semblance of a welcome. Let it never be said that I am not a gentleman. Why were you waiting for me back there? Is that why were you waiting? Were you waiting for me back there? Okay, were you waiting for me back there? I read it wrong. My bad. I was indeed. Consider me the bouncer to the eternal party in hell. Oh, we can ask everything. I think we can ask everything, maybe. You'll have to ask my employer that, I'm afraid. I was probably told the details, but everything in my head sometimes blurs together into one big screaming mass. Okay, I don't know why I didn't ask this one before. Why does the world seem different now? Because you've got Golgotha. It's new because this is the first time I'm going through the Golgotha thingy. Because you've got Golgotha blood, my dearest sister. Alright. And it lets you see things for how they truly are. Unfortunately for us, the way they truly are is far, far worse. As you say, sister. We rode for a short while longer, and in the silence that followed, my mind felt blank. I was slowly coming to terms with what had happened, even though the rational part of me insisted I was stuck in a dream. Wherever Marcus was taking me, I could only hope that I'd finally learn the truth behind everything, including that mysterious man at the club. I never found out anything about that man at the club. Nothing at all. Like, why make him so mysterious and be like, you'll never learn my name, and then do nothing about it? That always kind of bothered me. I mean, maybe we'll find out more in this route. I don't know, but, yeah. Spoiler alert, in the Heath route, you don't find out anything, sadly. It wasn't long before we arrived at a huge towering building, marked with a giant sign that read Hollywood Heights Hotel. I'd passed by this intimidating place before, noticing the unusually high security outside. Everyone who passed through its doors had a certain strange presence about them, even stranger than most of Hollywood's eccentrics. Marcus pulled me out of the car and into the hotel's luxurious lobby, his boots clacking on the polished marble floors. We came to a stop in front of a private room, but instead of knocking, Marcus simply barged right in. I'm still going to see Charisse? Do I still stay with her? This makes no sense. She's not Golgotha. She's Well, I can't remember the name. I've brought Valkii, our little Golgotha novitiate. Please give her your warmest welcome. Ah, welcome back, Marcus. An elegant woman stood up from her chair to greet us, her eyes flickering from Marcus to me. I really thought we would go stay in the crypt place. Again, this is I'm sorry, this is spoilers because I have played through this already. But there's a place where the Golgotha, I feel like, go, and I thought I would go there. I've been expecting you. Marcus, there's been a mistake. This individual was not supposed to be bitten. She spoke in a very slow, dangerous fashion of someone barely controlling their rage. At least that rage seemed to be directed at Marcus, not me. Is that so? Marcus shrugged, looking about as bothered as if he'd forgotten to get milk from the grocery store. But our sister here was the only pretty young dead thing to walk out of the abattoir. Your lucky candidate must have missed their appointment. Missed their... The woman steepled her fingers to her upper lip, and from the murderous way she stared at the ground, it was a wonder she didn't burn a hole through it. Just one headache after another. If only I could hire someone competent for a change. Finally, with a deep sigh, she turned her focus back to me. I had the distinct feeling her calculating eyes were scrutinizing me, doing some kind of rapid cost-benefit analysis. Well, let me start by saying my name. Charisse Locke. S-A-O-R-I-S-E. Charisse. And I apologize for all of this happening to you. As you might have guessed, another mortal was supposed to receive the bite tonight, not you. It seems there was a misunderstanding. What the hell? You just ruined my entire life. There's no need for rudeness, as I believe I just said there was a misunderstanding. There's entirely need for rudeness. It seems my agent was sabotaged, presumably by your mysterious sire, who is no doubt an enemy of mine. Regardless, I'm rather short on time here, so I won't mince words. You can lament over your loss of humanity for the next century, or you can accept the hand you've been dealt and move on. Charisse breathed along without trying to hide her impatience or annoyance, like I was inconveniencing her somehow. It almost left me speechless. She was going to chalk this up to a misunderstanding? You were an accident, but I'm offering you a purpose. As cruel as it may sound, this turn of events needn't be a tragic one for you. It is a chance for all you could have ever wanted in life, perhaps even more, if you possess the will to survive. Therefore, my proposal is a straightforward one. Will you join the Los Angeles Coven of Vampires, my coven? I'm Golgotha. Why would I join Charisse's coven? This makes no sense. Like, literally 0 sense. I am interested to see how much me actually have, like, you know, being a Golgotha vampire will influence other things, though. I don't have much of a choice, do I? Not particularly, no. I'm pleased you realize this, at the very least, so we can proceed past formalities. The briefest of smiles flashed over her lips, like a subliminal message flickering on a TV screen. Very well, let me establish the main 3 rules of our coven. 1. When you feed, do not kill. It is unnecessary, since mortals almost always lose their memory of events leading up to the bite. 2. Never reveal your true nature to a mortal. By doing so, you endanger not only yourself, but our entire kind. As a result, you'll be disposed of. And finally, do not turn any mortal into a vampire without my permission, my explicit permission. It's necessary to keep our population to a minimum, as otherwise the area could quickly become overcrowded. Do you understand all of this? Yeah, can you get to the point? I don't appreciate your tone, but because of tonight's unfortunate circumstances, I'm willing to excuse it on this occasion. With a quiet sniff, Charisse motioned towards the chair beside Marcus, who had languidly stretched out into a seat while we were talking. As I settled down in the offered chair, Marcus flashed me a sidelong smirk. It seemed he found all of this particularly amusing. Charisse snapped her fingers to get my attention. My state of shock wasn't high on her list of priorities, apparently. Now, Valkii, you've arrived during a most difficult time. It just so happens that we're in the middle of a war, a messy political war waged in the dark, entirely unbeknownst to mortals. As she began her brisk business agenda, Charisse elegantly lowered herself on the couch opposite to me. The 3 houses, the ones all vampires belong to, Iskari, that's it. Iskari, Mavar, and Golgotha are fighting for the rule of Los Angeles. To put it very crudely, Iskari tend to be diplomatic, Mavar are more aggressive, and Golgotha are everything else. Ah, if only it were that simple. Yes, well, no doubt she'll learn of the nuances soon enough. Crossing her legs, Charisse let out a faint sigh, one hand flitting to push up her glasses. The current ruling house is Iskari, my house. We have governed Los Angeles for a number of years, but recently the other houses have gotten a little, how shall I put it, rowdy. We need to negotiate some sort of three-way peace to restore order, but that's easier said than done. There are simply too many secret deals, betrayals, and assassinations going on behind the scenes. However, you are new enough to be politically naive and unbiased. She paused, that critical light glinting in her eyes again. Unlike most of the other vampires in LA, you have neither an existing reputation nor any allegiances to speak of, and thus you may be the key to our reconciliation. I don't know if I like where this is going. Charisse merely gave me a blunt look, my hesitance apparently falling on deaf ears. The first task I intend to give you is a simple one, but it will serve as an accurate measure of your potential. There's a meeting going on tomorrow night between Randall, the powerful leader of the Mavar rebels, and some Golgotha emissaries. I want you to sneak into that meeting and disrupt it. How can I disrupt it? That will be the least of your concerns. You should be more worried about getting past the guards. Whatever tools you have at your disposal, I suggest you use them. Quick thinking and improvisation are the keys to seeing another sunset. Tomorrow night, Marcus will call you an hour before the meeting. He should have all the details you'll need. Make sure that no treaty is made between the Mavar and Golgotha. It is an important step towards forcing Randall onto our side. He's too valuable as a potential ally. Consider this task your trial. It is an opportunity to transcend your circumstances, to prove that fate chose you for a reason. With an air of finality, Charisse rose and stepped briskly past me, striding over to the door. Marcus shuffled aside, eyeing her with an arched eyebrow. You'll be staying here at the Hollywood Heights Hotel, in the room intended for the candidate you replaced. The hotel is managed by some of our people, so you'll be perfectly safe. The next time we speak, I will be looking forward to the tale of your success, Valkii. The door slammed shut behind her, and the swift clacking of her high heels slowly faded into the distance. I turned to Marcus, unsure how exactly to process everything Charisse had just told me. Well, well, well. It seems the stars smile on you, sister. He let out a delighted chuckle, winking at me behind those dark lenses. Charisse doesn't like to make mistakes. You must have caught her in a good mood tonight. Tell me, what do you think of her, the Red Queen? Honestly, I'm not sure yet. It's too early to tell. Someone who reserves judgment. My god, you're a mythical beast twice over. Marcus paused, glancing down to an old-fashioned pocket watch in his palm. The fact that he owned one didn't surprise me in the least, somehow. I will be calling your room around midnight tomorrow. It would be wise to prepare yourself in every sense of the word. If you want to imagine his voice, I would say imagine Bill from True Blood, if you've ever watched that. That's how I kind of imagine it. I kind of hate Bill's voice. That's why I don't want to do the southern drawl. I don't know if I hate his voice, though, because the actor who plays Bill is British. So, you know, he's putting on an accent. Okay, now it's about time for me to head out, but before I go, I have one last thing to say to you, and I don't intend to say it twice. His expression suddenly grew dark. He stared at me intently as if to confirm I was listening. Do not trust anyone. Every soul you meet in Hollywood is full of lies, some unintentional, others deliberate. Very rarely does anyone do what they say or say what they truly mean. Only a fool believes everything they're told. Do you understand me, sister? Thanks, Marcus. I'll be careful. Music to my ears. Hold those words to heart and you may survive more than a few nights. The intrepid little mistake. I believe you're going somewhere, and though I can't foresee your destination, I'd like to see you reach it, at the very bottom or the very top of Hollywood. Snickering softly, he shoved a hand into his pocket, rummaging around for something. Where is the damn... Ah, here. If you ever want to muse on the apocalypse or take turns laughing at the stars, here's where you'll find me. He reached for my hand, pressing a small object into my palm. My eyes flickered down to see what he'd given me. A small business card, coloured bright red and emblazoned with bold black letters. Blood and Roses, a dark paradise for all your erotic fantasies, adult movies, magazines, and more. Was I misinterpreting this card, or did Marcus work at a sex shop? But by the time I glanced up again, he was already gone. I hadn't even heard the door open and shut. How had he left the room so suddenly? Maybe it was for the best if I didn't know. Alright, I will see you in the next one, but we will be starting Marcus's route, I guess, in the next one, I think. I'll see you then.